favorite scary movie?
I don't know.
Scream is a 1996 American slasher film directed by Wes Craven and written by Kevin Williamson. It stars David Arquette, Neve Campbell, Courtney Cox, Matthew Lillard, Rose McGowan, Skeet Ulrich, and Drew Barrymore. Developed under the title Scary Movie, Williamson's script became the subject of an intense bidding war for multiple studios before Miramax Films purchased the rights. Craven, despite turning down the opportunity multiple times, agreed to direct this film after he read the script, as he was determined to re-establish himself after several career setbacks.
Hello?
Hello?
Who is this?
You tell me your name, I'll tell you mine.
I don't think so.
What's that noise?
Popcorn.
You making popcorn?
Well, I'm getting ready to watch a video.
Really? What?
Oh, just some scary movie.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
You never told me your name.
Why do you want to know my name?
I want to know who I'm looking at.
Scares you. Traps you. Fear.
Don't trust anyone. Ever.
Feels good to get things out in the open. And scream about them. It is a film about a group of kids that all love scary movies, who are then put in a situation where they are being preyed on by an anonymous killer. They find themselves unwillingly sometimes in those very cliche situations they sort of thought were so clever and fun to watch when they're watching scary movies.
Hello?
Hello, Sydney. You like scary movies?
What's the point? They're all the same. Some stupid killer stalking some big-breasted girl who can't act, who's always running up the stairs when she should be going out the front door. It's insulting.
There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a scary movie. Number 1, you can never have sex. Sex equals death.
Don't have sex, you die. That would pretty much be Wes Craven's message to the youth of America. Abstinence, key.
Never, ever, ever, under any circumstances say, I'll be right back. Because you won't be back. I'm getting another beer. You want one? Yeah, sure. I'll be right back.
It goes from being sort of funny as you recognize classic film situations to terrifying when you see that it's really happening, and kind of baffling and intriguing because all of these things become sort of woven up in a single net of who is the killer, and which is kind of an impenetrable mystery, as it turns out in this film.
The police are always off track. If they'd watch Prom Night, they'd save time. There's a formula to it. A very simple formula. Everybody's a suspect.
The first 30 pages of the script were probably like the most exciting 30 pages that I'd ever read.
I freaked out, and I put it down. And then I fished the next day during the light.
So, who are you?
The question isn't, who am I? The question is, where am I?
So, where are you?
Your front porch.
Why would you be calling from my front porch?
That's the original part.
Oh, yeah? Why call your bluff?
Uncovering the dark side of yourself and confronting it and chasing it away. That's what the movie's been about to me.
I was definitely dealing with a lot of depth in the character. When you try and find those levels, when you find a character, you don't want to just go with what's on the page. I do a lot of fighting with a couple of the characters in the film.
Nice shot.
Right. Like that?
Man, that was a good punch.
Nev, you nailed it.
Looks like we've got a serial killer on our hands.
Well, serial killer's not really accurate. Gotta knock off a couple more to get that title.
Well, we can hope, can't we?
I've always been a Wes Craven fan. I'm scared of him.
Wes Craven was sitting in the lobby of Miramax, and I recognized, as soon as I got off the elevator, I was like, that's Wes Craven, that's Wes Craven. And I had someone come up, and they said, Wes, Kevin, Wes. And he went, Kevin Williamson? I said, yeah. He goes, I read your script. It was really scary. And I thought, I can lay down and die.
Well, it was funny because, my name's even mentioned.
The killer's still out there? Don't go there, Sam. You're starting to sound like some Wes Carpenter flick or something.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Is that the one where the guy had knives for fingers?
Yeah, Freddy Krueger.
Freddy, that's right. I like that movie. It was scary.
Wow, well, the first one was, but the rest suck.
I kind of wanted to take that out, I did not write that line.
With the amalgamation of Kevin's script and Wes's direction, I knew you couldn't go wrong, because Wes would bring Kevin's brilliance to life in the most graceful way.
It's like, you're a junkie. You want that, you want that scary feeling. And a lot of people, it's like a drug. You want more.
You want to go into a dark theater, have the lights turn out, and just there's something about being scared out of your wits that has always appealed to me, and I think it appeals to everybody.
They go to scary movies because they already have certain fears. And the movie brings it out in a way that's fun because you're not going to be hurt. Something has been exercised. Some terrible tension has been relieved momentarily. And so it performs some sort of arcane service to the psyche.
Ready, Ann? Action!
Anything else you want, Wes Craven, director of this major motion picture?
Got it? Yeah. So, David, couple things. I'm just keeping an eye on things as the first line rather than checking things out because you're checking out the party. And
Stupid.
And then you do the jump first, and then you take your head out.
Right.
You come in and scare everybody.
I can't do it.
Tony will be back this fun.
Yeah, I want to match. How's your face up here? I'll just do some of the But you want to do exactly?
I'll send you a copy.
And you see him do the oh shit and look and then come back out like that. I think that curiosity should really face around.
Okay.
Rather than go around and look back to his heart.
Okay.
What is that?
So just keep looking.
Well, once he goes out and looks,
Just keep
like
looking.
he's going to help. Then he comes back and looks. Then you look, right? Because he's looking.
Right.
And then he goes back and you're like, okay, where's he going? What's going on? No, you just turn back.
So, but the first time you don't want me to look out when he looks out. Oh, okay.
When he goes out the second time, don't you just turn back.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Roll, sir. We're rolling. Rolling!
Okay.
Only 106 applicant cloud marker.
Sit here.
Okay, roll video. Lots of animation with the
Yes. Come on.
Ready? Ready and action! Cut. Yeah. All right.
And we're going to stop right here.
Okay.
Checking. Got one, Drew. Okay, Drew.
I think we're ready, Drew.
Hey, Wes, can we get a little picture here? Okay, good. Good, all that right. All right there.
I love, strange things like Repulsion and The Tenant. I love Hitchcock films. I love Night of the Living Dead. I like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I love just about anything Cronenberg did when he was doing those kind of genre films. Alien. I have very eclectic tastes.
The Shining was pretty freaky. That you could call that a horror film because it's really disturbing. I'd say probably The Shining. I also saw one called The Changeling that really freaked me out because it was about, spirits. And when it comes to spirits, I have more of a belief in spirits, or it seems more real.
Whatever Happened to Baby Jane is my favorite scary movie.
My favorite scary movie would probably be Rosemary's Baby.
Definitely Psycho.
Friday the 13th, the original. And I remember going with my friends, and I just thought, oh my God. I mean, it was great. It was quite the ride.
Salem's Lot.
Straw Dogs. I thought was, a Clockwork Orange, that kind of scary movie, not as intense as Wes's. A different kind of scary movie.
I like old movies like Gaslight and things like that. I find those more like the psychological thrillers, like kind of more terrifying.
A long time ago, and I'm dating myself, but there was a film, I think, with Vincent Price called 13 Ghosts, and that was scary.
Terror Train scared the hell out of me. Clown masks coming at me with a knife.
I just remember being terrified by just movies like The Birds or, Exorcist, things like that.
The movie that I remember upsetting me the most was The Exorcist, I think. I'm not a smoker, but I remember I smoked 7 cigarettes in a row when I watched that movie and threw up immediately afterwards.
Probably one of the greatest impact, which is kind of cool with this, was Halloween. Seeing some of the scenes cut together here, I can remember, being in high school and going to see that movie. And the impact, that just sitting on the edge of my seat and, And that's why you wanted to take girls to those kind of movies, because I can just imagine, my teenage equal nowadays, she gets real scared, and she might want to hold hands, and all that stuff, and they get scared. That's another reason I like those scary movies.
Burnt Offerings, I still think about the color of that swimming pool when that little boy was under there and that man was getting killed. It just gives me shivers.
Nightmare on Elm Street, probably. I mean, I don't want to push it, but...
I watched Halloween when I was 10 years old, and it was the scariest movie I ever saw in my life. In fact, it's my favorite movie of all time. And it is the movie that is responsible for me being in the business of writing and being in the whole movie industry. So, I mean, for most people, it's Citizen Kane, Lawrence of Arabia, but for me, it's Halloween.
I think it's a great release of tension. Scary movies, somehow, they take you on a roller coaster ride. And they kind of address fears that you already have. And, I don't think people like to be scared. So that's not why they go to scary movies. They go to scary movies because they already have certain fears. And the movie brings it out in a way that's fun because you're not going to be hurt. Probably that the person that you're most identifying with, the hero or heroine, is going to survive and probably triumph. So, and you go with friends. So you come out sort of laughing and exhilarated and happy, and beyond that, it's a mystery. But I just know that audiences coming out of really scary films, the scarier the film are, the happier they seem to be.
Everybody has a different form of excitement. Some people like to laugh, some like to cry, some like to be scared. And it's very obvious from the horror films that people love to be scared. And it's just something in them that on a 9-to-5 basis they don't get that kind of adrenaline.
I think that there's a real visceral kind of relationship between the horror film and the horror fanatic. I mean, you go and you sit in the seat and you're checking out the film and you get a rush. There's an adrenaline rush.
I mean, I think kids go to amusement parks. I think they like to test their fear and survive and come out happy and alive. And I think it's just a matter of that. People who like to go on Ferris wheels or roller coasters, same thing. They like to go to movies and scream their guts out.
Because people want to be scared. They're scary, and they like to be shocked because people have regular jobs and they don't see murders during the day in their life, and they want to be shocked and jolted.
We all have an evil side in us. There's always, some kind of evil that lurks within our souls that, we never get to act out. So to go and see a film and be entertained by those emotions and things that we never actually come through with in our lives is kind of a trip, to watch someone else do that and watch someone else be evil and get off on it, I think that's why.
You want to be on a roller coaster ride. You want to go into a dark theater, have the lights turn out, and just there's something about being scared out of your wits that has always appealed to me, and I think it appeals to everybody, even though, it's not everyone's cup of tea, but there's something about you get the old adrenaline rush and just start shaking and screaming, and then you walk out of the theater and you're just taken for a ride.
Yeah. Okay, let's take it from the top from right here without driving.
Okay, rehearsal.
Here's my man, David. Hey, David. You come in with a little playful jump, at the end.
Little playfulness?
How you doing? That sort of thing.
All right, quiet please for rehearsal.
Okay, ready, Ann? Rehearsal action. Got it?
All right, that's a cut.
Yeah. So, David.
Yes, sir.
A couple things. I'm just keeping an eye on things. This is the first line rather than checking things out because you're checking out the party. And stupid. And then you do the jump first, and then you take your head off. Right. Not come in and go. Scared.
I can't do it.
Okay. Rolling video. And action. David. Video up.
Hi. The sheriff just radioed me. He said.
At that point, you're just like, well, what's going on? You don't know what's going on. You know that's going on, but he's acting like something else is going on. So he looks, and then he turns back, and when you turn back, just say, what? And then pull.
When he says, oh God, I've turned here, he says, oh God.
He says,
what?
When I step out, I say, oh. And then I look back in. I don't know if I said anything
No.
or what I said.
You say what when you turn? Like, what's going on?
To what, though?
Well, he's looking.
I'm sorry.
You're looking, and the killer's leaving, and he's looking like really worried. And you're what? You know, like there's some present danger, but you don't know what it is. He's realized.
Oh,
This is
so I
30
could be looking
seconds
at his
later.
face.
30-second lag, and you don't know that.
So I could be looking at his face even.
Yeah.
Okay.
And boom, this killer comes right as you're looking.
Okay, good. Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Oh my God.
Speed.
See camera only 106. Charlie, take one marker.
Set, Murray.
Yeah.
And set.
Ready? And action. Okay. Ready? Marie, Kurt, you go. Yeah. So this will be.
So we're going to do the first one where
Do the first thing where it does not stand, but it does
not stand.
Bless you.
Okay.
Thank you. Does not, but he does.
Yeah, it leans in on purpose. Leans in on purpose. Okay.
This changing never saw it made. Come around. Version 2, sir. This is
Virgin 2.
Virgin 24?
Did you see me?
Yeah.
He was like walking like
I like the way
I couldn't.
this business is so bad, confused, autism, total blind.
Shut up. Don't start with me.
It's all, it's a two-shot, so it needs to have a different. If Emma does not see
Tony will be back this spot.
Yeah, I want to match. Ask her face like this. I'll just do some examples. But you want to do exactly what you did the last time. Okay. It's Bob and Rudy.
I'll send you a copy.
And cut.
Ready?
That was a beauty.
Yes. Ready? And action.
Not you, Fred. Not you, Fred. Always not you, Fred. Why not you, Fred? Why not?
I mean, we certainly don't have any leads. Have you located Sydney's father yet?
No, not yet.
Well, he's not a suspect, is he?
You haven't ruled him out as a possibility. If you'll excuse me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I keeping you?
Cutting.
Minutes go in front. No one should front.
And background.
Ready? And action.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Roll sound.
And we're rolling. Rolling. Spit.
16 echo 2.
Ready.
Okay, here we go. Good energy. Ready and action. And cutting. Cut.
Yes.
Oh, she felt something very much. I think. You?
It's just like center left, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was dead center. Just we have a white.
Thanks.
Hey, Wes. Can we get a little picture here?
There we go.
Let me look.
Good, hold it right. Hold it right there. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you.
So should we square this up a little?
I think so. Go. Yeah, I'm gonna move those cards. You guys ready?
Yeah. Looks like I'm gonna be a personal bodyguard tonight, Sid.
Oh, you're a wonderful night.
Sorry. Please order. I'll stay out of the way, I promise.
Quickly, quietly, folks, here we go.
What is that? That's the back over there.
Ready, Mark? Standing by, here we go.
All right, ready, Gary? This is the new number 1, right? Yes, sir.
All right. And
Quiet, hold the band-aid.
quiet, please.
I'll never be starting with.
That's good, Mary Jane.
Hey, Buster!
Yeah.
Quite thing.
Once she walks up.
Hurricane. Identify everyone.
Yeah, for like 2 seconds. Before she dumped him. It did.
Hey, just the flash one.
Which one?
Keep behind that flag. It's swinging open in the wind.
Check your lens flash.
So that's alright if I say don't miss it.
Yeah, I will.
Swung open.
I think it's swung open. Close it down.
First time a small community of Woodsboro has endured such tragedy. Only a year ago, the impressive wife and mother was found raped and murdered.
Stay here. Go, Dave. Go, Dave. Go, Dave. Wait for me. Don't call. Okay.
Sydney! Oh, it's so great. I'll go right. Stop answering the questions like this. No,
So much easier, and we just made it all up. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, let's go.
Hider.
Ready.
Set.
No slides?
No.
Ready? Ready, and action!
Mark.
Ready. And action.
Ring. Ring.
Practice ran late. I'm on my way.
It's past 7.
Don't worry. Casey and Steve didn't bite it till way after 10.
I'm not worried.
Good, because I want to swing by Blockbuster and get us a video. I was thinking Tom Cruise and all the right moves. You know, if you pause it just right, you can see his penis.
Whatever, just hurry, okay?
Bye.
Ring.
Tatum?
Hello, Sydney.
Hi, who is this?
You tell me.
I have no idea.
Scary night, isn't it? With the murders and all? It's like right out of a horror movie or something.
Aha, Randy. You gave yourself away. Are you calling from work? Because Tatum's on her way over.
Do you like scary movies, Sydney?
I like that thing you're doing with your voice, Randy. It's sexy.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Oh, don't start with me. You know I don't watch that shit.
And why is that?
Well, because they're all the same, you know? It's always some stupid killer stalking some girl with big breasts who can't act, who's always running up the stairs when she should be going out the front porch. They're ridiculous.
You alone in the house?
That is so unoriginal. I'm disappointed, Randy.
Maybe that's because I'm not Randy.
So, who are you?
The question isn't, who am I? The question is, where am I?
So, where are you?
Your front porch.
Why would you be calling me from my front porch?
That's the original part.
Okay, then. I call your bluff. So where are you?
Right here.
Can you see me right now?
Uh-huh.
What am I doing? Nice try, Randy. Now tell Tatum to hurry up, okay? Bye.
If you hang up, you'll die just like your mother. Do you want to die, Sydney?
Fuck you, you cretin!
What?
Mark?
Hey, ready. Okay, good energy. Remember, Dad, and action.
Ooh, close call.
What? What are you doing here?
Oh, it just occurred to me that I have never snuck through your bedroom window.
And now that it's out of your system...
And I was home, bored, watching television. The Exorcist came on. Started thinking of you.
It did?
Yeah. Well, it was edited for TV, and all the good stuff was cut out of it, and I started thinking about us and about how 2 years ago we started out kind of hot and heavy. Nice solid R rating on our way to an NC-17. And how things have changed. And lately we're sort of edited for television.
So you thought you could just sneak in my window and we would have a little bump?
No! Hey, I would never think of breaking your underwear rule, all right? I just thought that, maybe we could do a little on top of the clothes stuff. Huh?
Okay. That's enough. Sub bucket out of here.
Do you see what you do to me?
Do you know what my dad'll do to you?
I'm going. I'm going.
I appreciate the romantic gesture, okay?
Hey. About the sex stuff, I'm not trying to rush you, all right? I was only half serious.
Would you settle for a PG-13 relationship?
Oh, what's that?
Get out of here. Come on.
Why'd you kill my mother?
Why? Why, you hear that, Stu? I think she wants a motive. See, I don't really believe in motives, Sid. I mean, did Norman Bates have a motive?
Nope.
And did they really ever explain why Hannibal Lecter liked to eat people? Don't think so. You see, it's scarier when there's no motive, Sid.
I don't understand.
Well, we did your mom a favor, Sid. You see, the woman was a slut bag who flashed her shit all over town and thought she was Sharon Stone or something, so...
So we put her out of her misery. I mean, let's face it, your mom was no Sharon Stone.
Is that motive enough for you? Or how about this? Your slut mother was sleeping with my dad. And that's the reason my mother left me.
What?
Think about it. On the off chance I get caught. That motive would have any jury divided for years, don't you think? You took my money, so I took yours. Big sympathy factor. I mean, maternal abandonment causes serious deviant behavior. It certainly fucked you up. You had sex with a psychopath.
That's right, and now you're no longer a virgin. You gotta die, those are the rules.
Pretend this is just a scary movie, Sid. How's it gonna end, huh?
This is the best part, Sid. Billy's got it all figured out. Why do you think we kept your father alive so long?
Oh, you know what time it is, Sid? It's after midnight. It's your mother's anniversary. Happy anniversary, Mom. We killed her exactly 1 year ago today. Ready?
Yeah. Jesus! Good one. My turn.
And don't forget, stay to the side and don't go too deep. Ah! Jesus.
Stop it!
Got the ending figured out yet, Sid? Time's running out.
Come on, Sid. Think about it. Your father's the chief suspect. We cloned his cellular. Do you have any suspicion?
What if your father snapped, huh? I mean, your mom's anniversary set him off and he went on a murdering spree, killing people, huh?
Except for me and Billy.
And then he kills you and shoots himself in the head. It's a perfect ending, Sid.
Everyone dies with us. We get to carry on and plan the sequel. Let's face it, these days you gotta have a sequel. You sick fucks. You've seen one too many movies.
Well, Sid, don't blame the movies. Movies don't create psychos.
Movies make psychos more creative.
That's it, Billy. I can't take anymore. I'm feeling woozy.
All right, get the gun. I'll untie Pops.
Where'd you put it?
It's on the table.
No, it's not.
I always saw it as a kind of metaphor for self-revelation, and how you can run from your dark side for so long, and you can hide from it, and it'll come up and it'll scare the shit out of you sometimes. It'll scare you, and until you really face it and get to know it and figure it out, it won't go away.
Nev, good morning.
Good morning.
It's nice to be able to meet you and to talk about your movie, Scream.
Mm-hmm.
I want to tell you I was screaming, or at least feeling like screaming, get me out of here. This is too wild.
Wow, well, that's good and bad, I guess.
Yes, you certainly accomplished what you set out to do, to scare the way out of everyone. But anyway, let's talk about your role in it, because I would say you are the leading character in the film, although it is kind of an ensemble film, isn't it? In making this kind of a film, Nev, you go into work every day and you've got to get to such an amount of tension at some days, and then other days just, let it all hang out. I mean, what does the actor go through on these days?
It's a good question, actually, because I was playing the lead and because I was in every day and we were working, 14 hours a day, and we were shooting nights a lot of the time. It is sometimes challenging to be able to keep your energy as heightened as it needs to be for it to be real, But Wes Craven was actually one of the best acting directors I have ever worked with in many senses. He's very good with imagery and with visualization and being able to come up to you and whisper in your ear some kind of image that'll terrify you enough to put you in the place that you need to be. He was extremely helpful in that way.
Could you give me an example of that?
There's one example where towards the end of the film I've been traumatized in so many different ways and lost friends and all of that. And I had shot about 12 hours already, and I was doing a scene where I'm almost going to be murdered, and I've just discovered what it is all about with the film. And I was having trouble getting my energy up, and Wes came up and he whispered in my ear and he said, imagine that you have like 10,000 bullets ricocheting throughout your body right now. And then he walked away and he said, action. And that was enough, to give me the energy and the terror that I needed to be able to play out the scene.
In these scenes, these horrific scenes with other actors, what happens when one actor has it and the other one doesn't? Then you have to keep doing it over and over and getting back to that same pitch again.
Yeah, you do. But on the other hand, the talent within this film was just extraordinary. I was shocked because you're always concerned when going on to a film. You feel that you're going to be able to handle the work. You hope that your energy is going to match everyone else's. And although we're an extremely eclectic crowd, we're very different from one another. We really clicked when we got on set, and we really appreciated each other's energy and each other's talent. We didn't have time. It's almost like we fed each other energy, which was really great.
Were there many women in competition for your role?
I believe many women auditioned. I think it got down to 2 of us by the end of it, and then it was, about a month wait, which is always disturbing as an actor. But yeah, LA, a lot of young women out there, so it's a wonderful thing. I was extremely lucky.
What was the audition like?
It was good. It was interesting for me because I hadn't done... or I hadn't been all that interested in scary films before, and I had just done The Craft, so I wasn't sure whether I was going to want to do something that was, again, similar to the genre. So I went in and I met Wes Craven, and we had a fantastic conversation about the script, and we found a lot of extra levels to add to Sydney and really sort of hit it off. So it was exciting.
So you didn't have to go through a lot of hysterics and all of that kind of thing in the audition?
Well, you want to hit some levels if you want to impress, right? So I did go through some hysterics, that's for sure.
Well, you do a wonderful job.
Thank you.
It's really, your performance is just outstanding for the kind of film that it is. And it's been nice meeting you, and I have a feeling we'll be meeting again.
Okay, nice to meet you.
Thank you, Nev. Happy holidays to you.
You too.
What are the rules to survive a psycho killer movie?
Some of the rules within the film are don't open the front door, don't run up the stairs instead of going out the front door, don't say, I'll be right back, and don't have sex. Those are a bunch of them. You'll die if you do any of those things.
You will die.
Yes.
So, what was your reaction when you first read the Scream script?
I loved it. You know a good script when you're reading a bunch of them, and then one comes along and you can't put it down until you're finished. And I absolutely loved the characters within the film, and I loved the way it moved, and that it didn't have slow moments. And I loved my character. I liked the transitions that she goes through. She goes from being a very vulnerable person to being a very strong person.
Would you say that the character of Sydney is looking a little bit like the character in Party of Five?
She goes through some similar things. I mean, she's lost a parent, like Julia has lost her parents, and she's young. And with youth comes vulnerability, and with youth comes confusion and mistakes. So there are those similarities. But on the other hand, Sydney's more traumatized. She's going through a lot more. She lost her mother to rape and murder, and is going through the fact that she can't trust anyone. And she can't trust the people who surround her because she doesn't know whether they're the people stalking her and whether she's going to die. So she's really living in fear, whereas Julia doesn't live in fear. She lives in learning and trusts that the universe will teach, and she does trust her family.
Your movies are The Craft and Scream.
Yeah.
Are you taking this scary movie to go something like against your image, the image you have in Party of Five?
It really wasn't a conscious decision to take films within this genre. They just happened to be the best scripts that came along to me within my hiatus time. The Craft I loved because it was not only about cult and Wicca, but it was also about four women and what youths go through and what women go through and how they want to become strong. And Scream was just a great twist on the genre.
You love the genre?
Yeah, I like the genre a lot now. I never used to. I used to be one of these people who just couldn't watch horror films because I'd have nightmares for months. But now I definitely have an appreciation for them because I know what it takes to make them. And there can be good ones and there can be bad ones. It's very easy to make a horror film and scare people, but to make one that's intelligent and to have people relate to the characters and then scare them, that's a whole different thing.
Did you see the Halloween's movie before doing Scream?
I hadn't.
Did you get inspired by Jamie Lee Curtis?
I hadn't, no. I'm being compared to Jamie Lee Curtis a lot, but I don't think I've actually ever seen her in a horror film. I've seen very few of them.
She did a lot.
Yeah, she did do a lot. And that's not really my plan. I don't hope to continue in horror films forever. I don't want to become typecast, just as I don't want to be typecast as Julia either.
But there's going to be a Scream 2.
There will be a Scream 2, yes. But, that's a different story. It's a continuation of one. I'm not going to start taking other things.
Have you ever thought that this movie could have this huge success?
You hope. You always hope. But when it happens, it's overwhelming and it's wonderful. I'm shocked. I mean, not that I don't think the film is great. I think the film is fantastic, and I understand why it's doing so well, but it's always surprising when it does this well.
So why is it doing so well?
I think a big thing is the fact that it's not only scary, it's also very funny. And you go through a roller coaster of emotions. You can be screaming within 1 second and laughing within the next. And to be taken on that kind of trip, that's true entertainment.
Did you know the other Wes Craven's movie?
Nope, I didn't.
You do now?
Right, yeah, I do now. Yes, I definitely do now. And I knew of his reputation, and I knew that his films were very good. And I really based my decision on the fact that I'd heard that about him, and on the fact that I really liked the script.
How is it to play with, to act with Courtney Cox?
Great. She's a sweetheart. She's a really wonderful person, very supportive and very down to earth, and I liked her a lot.
You have some very tough sequence with her.
Yeah.
How did you work on that?
We had a stunt person come in and teach me how to throw a punch without actually breaking her face, and that was a good thing. It was actually the first day I met her was the day that I had to punch her, and I went up to her, and I was so excited about getting to, do like a movie punch that I went up and I go, I'm so excited I get to punch you. And I walked away and I realized, oh, God, it sounded really bad. It's not that I wanted to punch her, I just wanted to punch someone. So I hope she didn't take it too badly.
There is also, you played with Skit in The Craft before. Did he change between the two movies?
He hasn't changed, and that's the wonderful thing, is Skeet is doing extremely well, and he's definitely in the public eye, and he's been doing a lot of work, and there's a lot of hype about him. And it's very typical of people in Hollywood to start to believe the hype. If enough people say they're fantastic, they'll believe it whether they're actually working or not. And Skeet hasn't done that. Skeet is very down to earth. He's very real about where he is, and he knows that he's being granted great opportunities, but that he still has to work to prove himself.
There is some kind of an ensemble cast spirit on the movie.
Yeah.
Did you feel that on the set?
On Scream? Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. The interesting thing is the characters, or the people, all the entire cast were all very different from one another, very eclectic crowd. But we really hit it off. And I think a big part of that was that we were all sharing a great experience and very enthusiastic about the film and very enthusiastic about Wes and about each other, and worked really well together. So we had fun.
This is a great period for you. I mean, the Scream, the success, Party of Five, the cover of TV Guide for the Valentine issue. How do you take that? Do you put that in perspective, or?
It's overwhelming and it's wonderful. And like I said, a lot of people will say you're incredible, but until you actually believe you're incredible, you shouldn't believe that. Because I don't believe that you should base any of your work on what other people are saying. You have to believe in yourself. And if you start believing the hype, you might get lazy. So I think you're better off just sort of trusting your own instincts and trusting your own work.
I suppose that you must receive a lot of script now. And do you think that you will stop the TV show, the TV series, to do movies?
I can't. I'm contracted. And, I wouldn't
What if you could?
If I could, yes. I would leave. Not that I don't love the show. The show has been fantastic for me, and it's the reason I am where I am. But on the other hand, I'm at a point now where I love Julia, but I could finish with her, and I'm getting a lot of offers, and I'm getting the opportunities to play a lot of different characters, and that's initially what people want to do in the business, is be able to create different kinds of personalities and different kinds of characters and personas, and that's what I hope to do eventually.
Is it possible to talk with the producer of the show to get some kind of schedule arrangement, stuff like that?
You would think that it would be. They're helpful. They're very helpful. I'm going to be doing another film on the hiatus and may not be able to start back when we were supposed to. And they understand, because they know that it does the show well as well if I'm doing feature films. But on the other hand, it's different. It's not like other shows where someone could just leave or disappear, because it's Party of Five. It's the 5 characters. She can't all of a sudden be Party of 4. It's not the same show.
What will happen now for Scream 2? Have you already signed a contract, or?
I haven't signed. It was in my first contract, and so we'll go through all that. I'm going through all that right now, negotiations and discussions, and it could be fun, though. It could be a lot of fun. Kevin's writing the second script, so I trust that it'll be good.
He's a great writer. I mean, the script is great.
Yeah,
Did he work with you? Did you talk with him?
No, the script was written before I went in. It was finished, and there weren't really many changes. I mean, we had some changes. I had discussions with Wes and with Kevin about certain things within the script that didn't quite fit for the character.
What kind of changes?
Mainly just little things, little line changes, or things that I didn't feel that she would need to say or be as open about, because she is very guarded. Those kinds of changes, but not huge ones. It didn't really need it.
Do you feel that Scream will kind of rejuvenate the genre?
I think it has already. I think everyone is surprised that it's done so well, and I think everyone's realizing that audiences and the public want to see something like this again. So it's funny, now all the studios have like horror films, and I'm trying to decide to get out of it, and that's what everyone's making now. But I think everyone wants to jump on the bandwagon because of Scream.
Wes Craven, who holds a master's degree in writing and philosophy, has scared audiences since the early 70s with films such as The Hills Have Eyes, A Nightmare on Elm Street and Wes Craven's New Nightmare. We're delighted to have him on the movie show for the first time ever.
I found it a very appealing script. It's really wonderfully written. It's very funny. It's scary when it means to be scary. It is extraordinarily well informed about the genre itself. So it's just chock full of references, both obvious and subtle. I mean, mothers and fathers' names are characters from Halloween 6 and everything else. I mean, there's it's like you need a concordance. You could go back and see this film 5 times and miss some of the references.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Is that the one where the guy had knives for fingers?
Yeah, Freddy Krueger.
Freddy, that's right. I liked that movie. It was scary.
Well, the first one was, but the rest sucked.
Most of the scripts that come across your desk are terrible, and they're derivative, and they're ugly, and they're just gore for gore's sake, and they're just rehashes of Friday the 13th or Halloween or Nightmare. You can just say, oh, here's the scene from that film. It's just somebody has cobbled it all together, and so you get these sort of Frankensteinian monstrosities of scripts that are really terrible. And you read 10 or 15 pages and throw them on the floor. And then every once in a while you get a script like Kevin Williamson's script of Scream. I don't know why I have this image, but, you know, if you went to a warehouse full of 10,000 dead dogs and one puppy that just runs up to you and licks you in the face, there's no problem, you know, telling which one's the live dog.
The killer's still out there? Don't go there, Sam. You're starting to sound like some Wes Carpenter flick or something.
Kids have seen all of these films, and they're authorities on them. And they've watched them over and over again because of VCRs. They're able to just take them home for a weekend and watch them 6 times. So they know them. They know them by heart. So you have that informed audience. The point is, are you going to undersell them? Are you going to come in under their level of intelligence, which is typically what happens in this kind of film, or are you going to try to come in at their level or slightly above?
Some stupid killer stalking some big-breasted girl who can't act, who's always running up the stairs when she should be going out the front door. It's insulting.
This is a very confused, very cynical generation. And they're looking for essential truth, I think, things that cannot be denied. Horror films talk about the bare-bones realities. We are corporeal beings. Rich, poor, whatever we are, if somebody sticks a little piece of metal in us, we can die right there. Our existence comes to an end. That's a profound truth. And that can happen to you. It happens a lot. You see it in the newspaper every night. So then how do you protect yourself against that violence without becoming part of it? What are the rules? What are the ways of defending yourself? So these are real questions that kids want to know the answers to, and adults would just as soon not talk about.
Looks like we've got a serial killer on our hands.
Well, serial killer's not really accurate. Gotta knock off a couple more to get that title.
Well, we can help, can't we?
I think what really horror films deal with is vulnerability and inattention. I think what horror films do is they show you the penalty of not being at that point, not being aware or admitting to what's really out there.
There's a formula to it. A very simple formula. Everybody's a suspect.
You know, people say, aren't you afraid the way your films influence your audience and can create violence? I say, well, what happens? The films have been here for 100 years. What about all those millennia before when people were bashing each other's heads out? You know, if you look at the story of Genesis, I mean, you know, first or second chapter, you have Cain picking up a club and bashing out his brother's brains, and then acting like, what, me? I'm not my brother's keeper. I don't know where he is.
911.
What's going on?
The relationship between cinema violence in real life, censorship's rearing its ugly head at the moment. What's your response to that?
Well, I think if you've got an ugly situation, one thing you can do is break the mirrors. I don't think it's going to do a damn bit of good, but you might not have to look at it until it gets you.
Cheap labor.
You know, though, the directors and producers tell me that the crews in Dallas are the best working crews.
I
you
bet.
know, they really give
I
you.
bet.
Do you have Speed? Yeah. Skeet, good morning.
Good morning.
Very nice to have a chance to talk with you. We're just mentioning the fact that you're getting ready to go to Texas to do a movie. What will that be?
Well, I don't know what I don't want to say yet. We'll see what happens.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're just in negotiations.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, okay.
Exactly.
Yes, but best you don't.
Yeah, we don't want to say this is happening, and then I look like a liar.
Well, anyway, we're here to talk about Scream, your role in it.
Yeah.
And you have one of the principal roles in the picture. Had you ever done anything like this before?
No, not really. No, I mean, the character is he's definitely different. You know, he's definitely, which is why I was attracted to it. I mean, and the thing about it is how it's a real guy. You know, and that's it's interesting to put all these real people in this situation and see what you get out of it. And I think we got a fantastic movie out of it. You know, a roller coaster ride of a movie.
Well, indeed, and people do scream. It's aptly named. Have you seen it with an audience?
I saw it with a few people, and they were, the girls were clutching the guys, and the guys were, clutching the chair, and then the laugh would come, and it was like everybody would settle back down, and there they were clutching again. I mean, it's amazing what Wes and Kevin and the cast and everybody have been able to do with this working the audience thing.
Growing up, did you like that kind of film, the horror films?
I did, yeah. I always remember Salem's Lot, all that stuff, whatever came on TV or whatever came to the theater. I don't know why, but I always wound up there, and I always wound up with nightmares. And think that's one of the first things I ever said to Wes was, "You've scared me quite a lot in my life." Thanks. Yeah.
What is it about human nature that not everybody? I'm a devout coward myself. You know, I try to avoid those situations. But what is it about scary movies that people like? What is it about human nature that we respond to that?
I don't know. I think it puts a face on fear. You know, I think it gives it a very tangible thing to react to instead of. Yeah, it just. I think it's cathartic in a way for people to see this stuff and you know, bring this fear that they often carry around out into something that's, you know, palpable. And you know, it certainly scared me, the movie. And I don't know, I guess it just it's a chance to react in a different way, you know, in a way that outside of the movie theater you won't often react, you know.
I have not seen, you know, a tremendous amount of these kinds of movies, only in connection with my work. But I must tell you, this one really gave me chills.
Yeah.
It really did.
It's you know, it's a real it's a great thriller. I mean, you don't know who the killer is. You know, it could be anybody in the town. And it's at the same time it's very clever. I mean, it'll certainly work you over. I mean, it did me, and I was in it.
Well, Skeet, it's nice to have a chance to talk with you,
Nice to talk to you.
I hope we'll have a chance to talk again sometime.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, have very happy holidays.
You too.
Thanks.
You too. Thanks.
No, really, it did. It just sent
Yeah.
chills. I mean,
Same
like,
here.
oh,
I didn't. Oh, go.
Yeah, isn't that neat?
Where's that from?
Right here.
Lonnie, where's that? Your
Oh my goodness, we're speeding.
yes.
Well, Wes, good morning.
Good morning.
You tell me you're fighting the flu.
A little bit, yeah.
And we're both fighting the early morning hours with very little sleep, I'm sure, on your part, as well as mine. But anyway, here we are with this movie, Scream, coming out during the holidays or for the holidays.
Right.
And it seems like a strange holiday movie to me. I don't know. Do you like the idea that it's coming out at this time?
Well, it's interesting. It's counter-programming, as they say at Miramax. And I think, you know, that's because of the nature of typical holiday movies, this will be something different for the fans. There's not that much else out like this right now. So if you want to have just a good, fun, scary time at Christmas, it's a great movie for that.
You know, there is that aspect to it. And I must say that I think it's very well crafted, the film is.
Thank you.
And good people in the roles. But there is the aspect to it that in this very violent society that we live in, is this the kind of film or kind of message we need to be sending to young, impressionable people? I'm not talking about people who have their values established, but young, impressionable people who are trying to find their way in life.
I think it is. You know, first of all, I don't see it as a message. I see it as a comment, as a observation. I don't think that movies need to, you know, be gentle with an audience that is young. I think the young people of the United States are very strong, very opinionated. They see the world as it is, and they want to see it reflected in movies. And, you know, I don't think this movie is going to do anything but either entertain or affirm kind of an insight into the world that a lot of young people have anyway.
So you think actually that young people understand it better than their parents? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. You know, I think as soon as you're into adulthood, you're away from that younger world that is constantly changing. And it's very difficult to even know what your kids are experiencing at school and in their own private lives, you know. But it's very intense, and it's you know, it's a very, very truthful time of life. I think the kids see the world as it is, and I don't think they need to be sheltered or coddled in any way, and I don't think that they're going to be easily damaged by you know, truth. I don't think truth is ever damaging.
Now this, as I understand it, Wes, when this script came on the market, there were a lot of people interested in it.
Yes. Well, there was quite a bidding war for Scream when it first hit the market.
And I think over the one weekend, it was quickly resolved, and Miramax picked it up. But it was a very, very hot project because of the tightness and the interest of the script itself. It was just beautifully crafted.
Are we entering a new genre of horror film?
Well, it might be. I think, Scream is, it's really not a horror film. It's really, I see it as a thriller that is a murder mystery set among kids that love horror films. But Scream itself is not a horror film. I think, horror films, you know who the killer is. It's usually some heightened reality figure, a Freddy Krueger or something like that. This, you don't know who the killer is until the very last moments of the film. The characters are much more rounded and drawn much more cleverly, I think. And there's much more of sort of a social look into the lives of these kids. So they're not cardboard characters at all. They're very real people.
If you had to, beyond it being a thriller, if you had to identify it, would you even go so far as to say it's a thriller comedy?
There's certainly a lot of laughter in this film. It's sort of equal amounts laughter and screaming. But, it wasn't made to be necessarily a comedy or to be a parody or anything like that, or a spoof, but there's a strange sort of humor that runs throughout the script that came out very well with the finished product of just this bizarre sense of wit and startling insight and craziness that comes out in between the scary moments.
I think, Wes, if I were in your shoes, I would probably just get, when they come out, all the reviews and have a terrific amount of laughs, because I just can almost envision what some people are going to call it, or they're going to be trying to find a way to describe it. And I bet you're going to be laughing your head off at what they say.
Well, it's a hard to categorize film in a way, because the audiences that we've seen watch it, and by this point we've seen a lot of audiences, they all have an incredible amount of enjoyment from it. They're all very entertained by it. There's a tremendous amount of laughter and a tremendous amount of yelling and screaming and jumping up and down. So it's, it's kind of a thing in and of itself, but it's definitely a film that one would want to see.
Well, next time we talk, Wes, we can reflect back on this.
Right.
I can get your reaction to what other people have said about
Right.
Scream. Thank you so much, Wes. It's good to see you, and happy holidays
Thank
to
you.
you.
My pleasure.
I love, strange things like Repulsion and The Tenant. I love Hitchcock films. I love Night of the Living Dead. I like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I love just about anything Cronenberg did when he was doing those kind of genre films. Alien, I have very eclectic tastes.
The Shining was pretty freaky, that you could call that a horror film because it's really disturbing. I'd say probably The Shining. I also saw one called The Changeling that really freaked me out because it was about, spirits. And when it comes to spirits, I have more of a belief in spirits, or it seems more real.
Whatever Happened to Baby Jane is my favorite scary movie.
My favorite scary movie would probably be Rosemary's Baby.
Definitely Psycho.
Friday the 13th, the original. And I remember going with my friends, and I just thought, oh my God. I mean, it was great. It was quite the ride.
Salem's Lot.
Straw Dogs, I thought was, a Clockwork Orange, that kind of scary movie, not as intense as Wes's, a different kind of scary movie.
I like old movies like Gaslight, things like that. I find those more like the psychological thrillers, like kind of more terrifying.
A long time ago, and I'm dating myself, but there was a film, I think with Vincent Price, called 13 Ghosts, and that was scary.
Terror Train scared the hell out of me. Clown masks coming at me with a knife.
I just remember being just terrified by just movies like The Birds or, Exorcist, things like that.
The movie that I remember upsetting me the most was The Exorcist, I think. I'm not a smoker, but I remember I smoked 7 cigarettes in a row when I watched that movie and threw up immediately afterwards.
Probably one of the greatest impacts, which is kind of cool with this, was Halloween. Seeing some of the scenes cut together here, I can remember, being in high school and going to see that movie and the impact, that just sitting on the edge of my seat. And that's why you wanted to take girls to those kind of movies, because I can just imagine, my teenage equal nowadays, get her and she gets real scared and she might want to hold hands, and all that stuff, and they get scared. That's another reason I like those scary movies.
Burnt Offerings. I still think about the color of that swimming pool when that little boy was under there and that man was getting killed. It just gives me shivers. Ooh.
Nightmare on Elm Street, probably. I mean, I don't want to push it, but...
I watched Halloween when I was 10 years old, and it was the scariest movie I ever saw in my life. In fact, it's my favorite movie of all time. And it is the movie that is responsible for me being in the business of writing and being in the whole movie industry. So, I mean, for most people, it's Citizen Kane, Lawrence of Arabia, but for me, it's Halloween.
Who are you?
The question is, where am I? The critics call Scream the most terrifying movie of the year.
Help me, somebody!
It's clever, hip, and scary. Yeah? Wes Craven is in top form. Motives are incidental. And Rolling Stone calls it smashingly scary.
Oh my God.
Drew Barrymore gives a tour de force performance that rivals Janet Leigh's in Psycho. It's the scariest movie of the year. We all go a little mad sometimes. Scream, rated R. Now playing.
Released on December 20th, Scream was not expected to perform well due to concerns over releasing a slasher film in the time normally reserved for holiday entertainment. However, it went on to gross approximately $173 million worldwide through the strength of word of mouth and became a surprise success and one of the highest grossing films of the year. Contemporary reviews were positive, with praise going to the performances of its cast, but criticism was directed at its excessive violence and the lack of suspense in favor of that of humor.
Almost all teenagers go to a lot of horror movies except for the teenagers who are in horror movies. They've never seen a single one. That's why they always make the same stupid mistakes that always get teenagers killed in horror movies. Wes Craven is a director who has made a lot of slasher films. His credits include Last House on the Left, The Hills Have Eyes, and A Nightmare on Elm Street. And now he's made Scream, a picture about a slasher terrorizing a group of teenagers who are horror movie fans and already know what to do and what not to do. One of the guys works in a video store, and he brings along some tapes to a party, using them as a sort of training session as the slasher stalks the night outside.
Never, ever, ever, under any circumstances, say, I'll be right back. Because you won't be back. I'm getting another beer. You want one? Yeah, sure. I'll be right back.
The mayhem is covered by a gung-ho local TV reporter played by Courtney Cox, who wonders if there's a link between the current killings and the murder of the heroine's mother, which was, well, what do you know, just exactly a year ago today. I'd say the odds are good.
911.
What's going on? Scream is one of those movies where a lot depends on the attitude you take to it. On the one hand, it is a violent and frightening film. The R rating is well-deserved. On the other hand, it's a satire on violent and frightening films, and audiences who have seen a lot of horror movies are probably going to enjoy it more on that level. I have seen lots of horror films, and I did enjoy it because, for once, the teenagers weren't making the same old stupid mistakes. Nope. They were making new stupid mistakes.
Yeah, well, I've seen a lot of horror films too, probably the same exact number as you, and I didn't get into the picture. I don't think it's really as much of a clever satire as you're suggesting, because I think that it starts out as a slasher film and then adds this other material, this knowing material, but you still have to sit there, even if you're hip to the satire, Roger, and watch girls being stalked, ripped apart, and it isn't fun. So the attitude that I brought, which is always neutral to a picture, was depressed at the 25-minute mark in this film, and I, smiled knowingly at what the film was saying, but I didn't learn anything.
Gene, I don't think it starts out as a slasher film. It starts out already as a satire. For example, the use of the big glass patio doors in the background for the telephone call.
Yeah. Well, while you're noticing the glass patio doors being shattered, I'm noticing
I'm noticing the fact that they're there.
Okay. And I'm noticing a body getting shattered, and I'm not going on the high horse against you. I'm just saying, no. I'm saying that that's what I noticed, and I found it offensive.
Okay, would you have enjoyed this more if the characters had not been savvy?
No, it would have been a worse picture, but I'm not recommending it.
Okay.
Are you ready to scream? For the movie Rolling Stone magazine calls a delicious blend of fun and fright that's smashingly scary.
It was funny. It was exciting. It's a Scream, baby.
The whole thing was fun.
Never say, I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
Sensational, terrific entertainment, says the LA Times.
Scream is sexy.
I was screaming at the top of my lungs and laughing hysterically all at the same time.
Scream.
This is great. You have to see it.
Rated R. Now playing.
Don't hang up on me.
Coming soon to own on video cassette.
Hello?
Hello?
Who is this?
Tell me your name, I'll tell you mine.
I don't think so.
What's that noise?
Popcorn.
You making popcorn?
Well, I'm getting ready to watch a video.
Really? What?
Oh, just some scary movie.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
You never told me your name.
Why do you want to know my name?
I want to know who I'm looking at.
Someone is playing a deadly game.
It all began with a scream over 911.
Someone who's seen one too many scary movies. Now, he's taken his love of fear
Hello?
Hello, Sydney.
one step too far.
Do you like scary movies?
What's the point? They're all the same. Some stupid killer stalking some big-breasted girl who can't act, who's always running up the stairs when she should be going out the front door. It's insulting.
There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a scary movie. Number one, you can never have sex.
Hey, it's me.
Never, ever, ever, under any circumstances say, I'll be right back. Because you won't be back. Get another beer, you want one? Yeah, sure. I'll be right back!
He didn't make the rules.
The police are always off track. If they watch prom night, they'd save time.
He just kills by them. Don't answer the phone. Don't open the door. Don't try to hide.
Everybody's a suspect!
You're not scared, are you?
Scream.
Scream was released on VHS and Laserdisc in June 1997 and was especially successful in the video rental market, becoming the second most rented movie of 1997 in the United States.
Are you the type that likes to watch a scary movie? How would you like to actually be in one? Get ready to scream. Scream, rated R restricted from Dimension Home Video, coming soon to Blockbuster.
Do you like scary movies?
They're all the same. Some stupid killer stalking some big-breasted girl who can't act, who's always running up the stairs when she should be going out the front door.
Don't answer the phone. Don't open the door. Don't try to escape.
It's a Scream, baby!
Do rent the ultimate scary movie.
Can you see me?
Scream.
The original Scream is now on video.
Who are you? The question is, where am I?
Own the original. Available in 4 collectible packages. Scream. Buy it today.
Hello?
Hello?
Now available on CD and cassette.
Hello?
Hello, Sydney.
Scream. Music from the Dimension motion picture featuring Nick Cave, Moby, Catherine, The Canal, Sister Machine Gun, Soho, The Last Hard Man, and Youth of America from Bird Brain. Get the Scream soundtrack on TVT Soundtracks. You've been wasted.
The soundtrack to Scream was released in December 1996. It sold poorly.
I like that movie. It was scary.
At the 23rd Saturn Awards in 1997, Scream won awards for Best Actress Campbell, Best Writing Williamson, and Best Horror Film. The film was named Best Movie at the MTV Movie Awards, and Campbell was nominated for Best Female Performance. Scream was named Best Film by the International Horror Guild. Craven also received the grand prize at the Jamada Film Festival.
And the best movie is...
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank everybody of the MTV generation who finally gave some recognition to the kind of films that we all like to go see, really. And also to Bob and Harvey Weinstein of Miramax, who saw the vision of this film before anybody else did and gave us the support. And to the fantastic cast that is behind me, to Drew Barrymore and Nev and Courtney and Rose and David and Skeet and Matthew and who am I forgetting?
Jamie.
Jamie, thank you. And many others, Henry Winkler. To the great producers of the film, Marianne Madalena, who's been my partner for 10 years. And a great friend and a wonderful producer, Kathy Conrad, Carrie Woods. I could go on, but I won't. But thank you very much for all of us. It was a fun picture to make. You couldn't have had a nicer group of people make such a scary film. So thank you very much.
I want to know who I'm looking at.
Oh my God, Bob! Ugh.
Strong.
Oh, I told you could send it back.
I know.
He called me a slut.
Go rolling. And does Mr. Humbert touch you like that very often?
Sometimes.
Disturbing.
Ma, it's too hot.
It's the way you like it.
Right?
I owe you shit. You owe my mother. I have no idea. Okay. I owe you shit. You owe my mother. Your mother's murder was the... No, don't stop. I got it. Your mother's murder was... Your mother's murder was last year's hottest court case. Okay. You owe my mother. Your mother's murder was the hot... Fuck. Don't stop now. Don't stop. I got it. Your mother's murder was last year's hottest court case. Okay, ready? Yeah. I owe you shit. You owe my mother. Your mother's murder was that... Oh. Okay, wait. I got it. I swear to God, I got it. I got it. Your mother's murder was last year's hottest court case.
So what is it, huh? What is it? Two of your classmates are just brutally murdered, and what do? You do nothing, right? To show your creativity, your sensitivity, your shit.
Maybe your freaked out movie mind fucked up. Yeah, get him, Billy, yeah!
What's Leatherface doing here? He came to make up. There goes my chance with Sid.
As if.
As if what?
That's all I'm saying. As if.
I'll show Johnny Depp's brother.
I'm not bloody, so that doesn't work.
Did you have to go in the van?
Yeah.
Fuck. Sorry. I said gun in the van. Well, good. Shoot the bastard.
I like that ending.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Well, let's get back to work. Show's over.
Listen, asshole!
No, you listen, you little bitch. You hang up on me again, I'll gut you like a fish, understand?